Today we are doing something completely different. We are not just going to be reviewing AI tool. We are going to be building a fully functional web application from start to finish using nothing but AI tools. And here's the twist. I won't be writing the code. I won't be designing the interface. In fact, I won't be touching the terminal. We are outsourcing our entire brain to AI. Chatgpt will be our technical project manager. Stitch by Google will be our product designer. Cursor AI will be our software developer, and we'll ship the web application to production using Github and Vercel. And that's exactly what we're doing today. Welcome back to Prompt and Chips, everyone. My name is Temi, and in today's experiment, I'll be outsourcing my entire development job to a team of AI. We are building a PDF utility application, one where you can merge PDFs, you can convert images and doc to PDF file, and we're setting one crazy rule: no terminal. This implies that I will not be installing the necessary packages for this application myself. I will not be pushing to GitHub myself. So stick around and let's find out if AI can truly build and deploy an application with me just playing the prompt engine. Now let's meet the team for this project. First is our project manager, Chatgpt. We will task it with breaking down our big idea into detailed tasks that our other AI tools can understand. Next is our UI UX designer, Stitch by Google. Forget Figma. With Stitch, we can generate design screens in minutes just by prompting. Stitch will give us the look and feel for our PDF utility app. Then our lead developer, Cursor Agent. Cursor is an AI-powered code editor, and with its agent feature, it can build an entire project, install dependencies, and even debug itself. It is our main guy for today, and it will be our IDE and engineer. Finally, our DevOps team, Github and Vercel. We will get Cursor to push our code to a GitHub repository, and Vercel will automatically deploy it to the world. Without wasting too much time, we're here now in Chatgpt, the beginning. Remember, the role of Chatgpt in this project is our project manager, and is a technical one at that, which means any other communication, any form of communication we need to pass to our other team members like Stitch, like Cursor, we need Chatgpt to talk to them. So the first thing, I need my screen. This is a very small application, so I'm not going to be tasking Chatgpt to come up with a project roadmap, to come up with milestones. If it's a big app, of course you need that. But the first thing I want Chatgpt to help me communicate with Stitch. And of course, there is no any automation or integration between Chatgpt and Stitch at this point. I just need the proper way to actually instruct Stitch, aka prompt. So and I will make sure I'm not speaking any jargons, no project management terminologies, no technical terminology. So I'm just, and also this is mid-level prompt engineering, so really mid-level. So the only thing I know is my idea, and I know that I want to build a PDF major web application. And first, I need Stitch to come up with the design. So what I want my PM to do is give me a good prompt that Google Stitch could use in generating the design. Now, this is not enough. When we say PDF application or major application, I think the name is not even right, because we want to do more than just merging PDF files. So, but I'm going to leave it at that. So we need to give it a feature since we're not just merging PDF. So I will say not that the app should allow users. So yeah, that's going to be plural, to convert a doc or JPEG file to PDF. Then the app should allow users to upload multiple PDF files as well and merge into one. And One thing about PDF Major application, what you usually check for is it free? Is it free? So this is going to be free. So it should be free and boldly written on it. You want people to be able to click on it and use it, and boldly written. And another important part of PDF Utils application is the security. People are very mindful, which rightly so, of where their files are going to, who is storing it, what are they doing with it. But I know I want this to be client facing only, but I'm not going to say that. I don't have any technical knowledge, remember, so I'll just tell it. It will be secure. So it should be boldly written. And should be written that we don't store users' information or files, and no account creation will be required. So just come, input your files, and do whatever you want to do, and off you go. So no account creation should be will be required. Now these are mainly, though this is good for the UI aspects, right? And as well as UX. I want users to see what they're gonna get. But what of Stitch when it comes to the look and feel of the application? Do you want Stitch to create your logo, or are you gonna upload a logo to Stitch yourself? In this case, I want Stitch to be able to create a logo. So I'll say should be able to add a logo. And of course our prompt is right now all over the place. Like I said, this is a mid-level prompt engineering, and I also want this to be a landing page, because when you're telling GPT that you want to build a web application, and it's going to assume that you have a landing page, but I want this to just be a one-page web application. So I will say this should lean towards a landing page. The same landing page will serve as the web app. So landing page, but is also a one-page web application. If you have a desired color as well, it is good to put it here. So, and for this, I'm just going to stick with blue, because blue just makes sense. And the primary color should be blue. If you have a full style guide, this is the right time to pass it. Should be blue, or you can just give it a Stitch. Okay, what am I missing? This is our prompt. So this is our project manager. Let's define a role so that ChatGPT is aware what its role is. And we say is our technical project manager. So I'm gonna say, as a technical project manager, the client, which is the me now, the hi, so I'm removing the hi. The client wants to build first. We need Stitch to come up with a design. And then maybe just say, give us a good prompt. Yeah, so something like that. If there's any modification that you need, but I think this should be fine for now. And as you can see, the free version is even enough. So yeah, we'll send this now. Okay, this is looking good, and this is quite detailed. Otherwise, if you have a UI UX designer, I think they will be able to write probably a better prompt, but this is a solid prompt. So create a more than single page web application landing page for a free and secure. So this is it. I'm just going to take this. We also don't have a name. If you have a name for whatever you're building in your own case, you can also give it a name. And right now, GPT is suggesting PDF Merge Pro. So I'll go with that for now. So we're just going to copy this prompt. Of course, copy to this point. And we head over to Stitch. Yes, so we're here now in Stitch, and if you create your account, this is the first thing you're gonna see. Your interface should look something like this. But if you already have like screens, and you're gonna see something different. And of course, we want to build a web application, so we're going to switch this to web application. Like most Google AI products, maybe most. I'm not sure most is accurate there. Yeah, you can see that this is still like it's not fully live yet. You can just experiment with it, and of course share feedback, give Google feedback. So there are two modes in which you can design. You can either design in the standard mode, or you can design in the experimental mode. And of course the difference is the model is going to use. With the experimental mode, you're also able to get like HTML code given to you, but to be honest, I'm only interested in the screen, so we'll still leave it in experimental mode. We also expect better quality than the lower model. So yeah, the standard mode should be faster as well. So Let's see. But so far the experience with Stitch is pretty fast, and I'm not making any changes. Maybe just cleaning this for visual purpose, not Stitch visual, my visual, because Stitch is able to understand this pretty well already. And yes, we'll pass this. So when you run a prompt, you're going to see your prompts around here. It's always going to be here as long as that design file exists. So you can always come back and see your process, and you can see the screen getting generated as well. So if you've used Figma before, you know how much work you have to do. You need to first start with your style guide. You need to first start with setting up your files. And if you're also keen on doing some research, what's the right color to use? Of course, AI is not going to take away the place of research. You should still do it, right? But for proof of concept, you probably want to like move much more faster. And these tools are here to guide that. And while our screen is currently generating, we expect just the page. We said it's a one-page web application. Some of the other things you can see here is that with Stitch, you can also share it. You know, the way we share Figma link with other people just to collaborate or to view. So you can also do the same thing here. When you click on share, right now it is locked. I'm the only one who can see this, but you can generate a link and others will be able to see it. Okay, and we have our nice screen. This is good, right? Say 100% free PDF measure. Okay, and it's a very simple one-page application. I think it is completely functional. Maybe one thing I would have preferred is if the merge and the convert is up there like tab, but we didn't also pass that in our prompts. So if you have a situation like this where whatever you're getting does not really match with your expectation, probably as a result of the AI not interpreting your ideas correctly, or you making mistakes in your prompts, or by mistakes I mean not having detailed prompts like what we've just done here. I think we should have added that this should be like tabs so that it is easy, and then we could have our action buttons somewhere here. Yeah, so you could go back and just, you know, add more prompts, and if you want more pages you could add more prompts, and like that. The only thing you would just be doing on this interface is prompting. And of course, if you have maybe a sketch or a mock-up or anything you want Stitch to use for inspiration, the same way you do in Figma, you can also add this. But for the sake of this our little experiment, I'll stick with this. We have our screen, what next? So we have two options here, either to enable this to be public, so we are able to grab the link and then give it to our junior developer. I'm not going to call it junior developer, maybe a little bit rude now, to our lead developer, software engineer, which is Cursor agent, or we could take a screenshot. I will try both and see what works best. So, but for now, just to be sure that Cursor is able to access this, I will enable sharing. So all you have to do, click on that icon and we say enable sharing and copy link. So I have my link. So the next step, before we go into Cursor, I'm going to be creating a GitHub repository so that we're able to build on that. And let's go to GitHub. And now we are here in GitHub. So when you're creating a GitHub repository, it is very easy. The first thing you need is to actually have a GitHub account. And just to be clear, you must not use GitHub. You can use GitLab or any platform you want to use, you know. But I am using GitHub because I already have a GitHub account here, and also I find GitHub really very easy to connect to Vercel. And remember that the primary purpose of creating a GitHub repository is because we want to, at the end of the day, the objective is actually to deploy this. We want others to be able to use it. We're not going to keep it to ourselves. So you can select a repository name. If you're already signed in, you most likely will not see choosing owner, but I have a bunch of organizations here that I have to select who owns the repository I will be creating. I already have a repository I'd created, which I'll be using. I'm just showing this for those who do not know how to go about this. There's also a nice documentation on how to use GitHub. You can have a look there. You also want to set this visibility as public, unless you're building maybe something that is open source or something you don't mind sharing, right? You want to keep this visibility as private. Okay, so, and if you want a readme, you can add a readme. And one thing about Cursor is able to give you a very nice documentation of your project. So I actually recommend adding a readme, or you could even do it later. If you want a git ignore, you could add a git ignore, and that's it. But again, I already have a GitHub account and I have the link, and I'm just going to clone into Cursor. You're still here. I guess you're enjoying this as much as I am. So please do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel and like this video. This will help the channel in finding people like yourself, people who want to build smarter. And this is Cursor, of course, not the Cursor ID. You know, like most AI platform, you most likely would need to create an account. I know there are some that you could just, you know, use without actually creating an account. But for Cursor, especially if you're going to be building and be asking Cursor to do a lot of stuff for you, you might also want to subscribe. You might want to get a pro plan, which in my opinion is totally worth it. If you want to build a proof of concept for whatever idea you have and you want to go the traditional way of hiring somebody, is definitely going to cost you $20 per month. And they even have like a free plan if you just want to try, explore. The pro is most likely enough for you, and the next thing for you is actually to download Cursor. So if you want to download Cursor, you can come to this place. This is the official website, by the way. I will also add a link in the video description so you can download Cursor. I already have Cursor installed, and also remember that I have my GitHub repository, and the next thing I'm just going to open Cursor. So I click on Cursor, and with Cursor, I want to clone repo. I'm not opening project because I don't have this project yet. So I want to clone from GitHub, and I'm just going to provide the URL. So like this, yeah. So I currently named this PDF util. So you will see the repository that it has created. This is it. So we have it. I've cloned it. I have it in my local machine now. And this is the interface. If you're familiar with IDE, this is what you will have. When I was creating this repository, I included README, and that is why we have README here. The only thing we have here is just README. And our developer, we have our chat already open. If you don't have this open already, you could open it. So this is like where everything is going to be happening. This is where we're going to be talking to our lead developer for this project. Yes, we are back to Chatgpt again, because yes, you have Cursor, but do you know what to communicate to Cursor? Can you talk to a lead developer yourself? No. Also, if you can even talk to a lead developer, why do you have to do it yourself? Let's talk to our PM, our technical PM. So Chatgpt, it has the context of what we're building already from our initial prompt. Remember, this guy practically hired our designer for us, practically gave the designer the brief. So we're just going to tell you that, okay, our developer for this is the Cursor agent, and we want to be able to break this project into tasks that Cursor could use. So I'm going to pass in the prompt now. So we'll be using Cursor agents to build this application from setup until deployment. In this case, just push into GitHub though. Yeah, so we'll say, as a technical project manager, break this down into modular tasks that Cursor agent will understand to give us a fully functional web application according to our stitch design. Yes, I mean, you could make your prompt better, but let's see what we have. Okay, so we have our task one. Is basically telling it what to do. One thing I want you to know, I've not chosen any stack. I didn't ask it to use any library or anything, but that's like some of the work your technical project manager will do, you know, also communicate with your lead developer and whatnot. I know I want to use Tailwind CSS. I know I don't want Cursor to go into writing CSS itself, but I didn't even give Chatgpt, but now is able to give me all the dependencies I need. This is the basic folder structure, and this is the first thing that is asking Cursor agent to do: initialize the project environment. You know, and the next thing, implement design from Google Stitch. Next phase, file upload module. Next phase, task 4 is file conversion module, PDF merge module, download module, security and privacy. So quickly we'll just scan through the core functionality. The file conversion, okay, it's asking you to use libraries like JSPDF, and for merge it's asking you to use PDF lib, and yeah, I think this should be fine. So our job here as just somebody with AI is to copy this. We're not going to copy the entire thing. We're going to copy it phase by phase. See, we don't even have to break it down really really into too much, is it like granularly, you know, is there anything like granularly? Okay, so I'm going to copy the first. You don't have to really say copy up to phase 1 of project setup. So what I should have done, maybe also to have say, give me the prompt in what cursor we understand, but I think we're really good. I'm sure cursor will be able to do this. So I'm going to go back to my cursor agent, and then I'll just pass this. I'm doing nothing, no heavy lifting, nothing. So this is it. Of course, this is going to take a while, so you have to exercise some patience. So this is the interesting part, and this is very important. I had mentioned this earlier. Whenever you're running any commands or anything on cursor, before cursor run any commands for you, it's going to ask you, it's going to show you. Showing you is not just for fancy, it's for you to actually confirm that whatever is running is right, you know. So currently we have this, basically just cd into the directory, and then it's checking if I am inside this directory, if this is true, and you know, install this. It's using npx to install create nest app. Okay, I actually don't want to use nest. I want to use react.js. So let's go back. Okay, because I have preference for React and I don't want to use React Vite especially, I'm not going to really modify my prompt anymore. I don't want to tell GPT, hey, these are the things I want you to do. I also don't want to install all my dependencies at once. So what we could do right now is to basically modify our prompt. There is nothing wrong with this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. So if you want to go with this approach, please feel free to go with it. But I'm just going to modify the prompt and then I'll go back to cursor quickly. So let's go to cursor. Yeah, back into cursor now. So basically my prompt is create a new Vite plus React plus Tailwind, and I want you to be able to set up the project structure just the same way GPT gave us. So I think we need to go back and grab that quickly. I have it now. I'm just gonna copy and paste. Yeah, and maybe not logo.png. That's if I'll be using the logo from Stitch if I download it. Otherwise I'll just leave it to generate another SVG. It does not really matter what I use as logo at this point. So I'm saying once you're done, I want you to run it locally with npm run dev. So this is everything I have. If you want, just go with the prompt you have from Chatgpt. This is me just being the human in the loop and modifying stuff the way I want. So I'm going to run this. This is quite a number of operations happening here, so do not expect like a very fast feedback or work. Another thing, we set up a challenge here, a rule. We said we're not going to touch our terminal. So to be honest, you can see I don't have my terminal open. If I want to do that, I would have gone here, you know, and just spin up a terminal here, and if I'm using terminal, cursor can even assist me. If I get any error from my terminal, I could fix it directly in this chart, and cursor by itself is going to fix it. And our job is just to either accept changes or discard it. So this is really magical. So back to this, and it's still generating. It's telling you everything it's gonna do. I think almost everyone is familiar with this AI thinking process, and yeah, it has given itself a to do, and this is the first thing it's doing. So for security reasons, it is a beautiful thing that I like. This is a beautiful thing that I like Cursor Agent does. It's not just going to run commands for you. Probably there's a setting where you can give it that autonomy. Yeah, you can see this, maybe just always allow, but I think this is good so that you can have like an oversight on what is being run, especially for security purposes. You want to know the packages that are running. So yeah, what is happening here is that it's currently seeding into my directory, the PDF util, and this and simply means that if I am inside this directory, that is, if this is true, if this command here is true, then run this. So I'm just going to run this. Okay, I've got an error there. It says there is a restriction. The previous data sandbox accessing your will rerun the scaffolding so it can access. Okay, still running. And now we have our package.json. package.json is created already. Index.html is created as well. This is beautiful. So if you want to inspect, you can do that. But to be honest, I don't want to inspect. I'm not doing anything. No work. Our index.html is basically our entry point into whatever we're building. So if you want to change the name of the application you're building, you can do it here. But guess what? It has changed the title for us. The name of what we're building is PDF util. It has changed it for us. So we even have our fonts here. So this is beautiful. Yeah, you have the package.json, and this is from Tailwind. So it's currently running Tailwind now. And yes, we have another one. To be honest, I don't want to run this, so I'm just gonna skip. Yeah. And then this is still ongoing. This is Tailwind config. If we open this, our source folder, we have our components, we have our pages, basically the structure we gave it. And under our styles, we have Tailwind, and we have our utils, and we have another command we need to run. So when you're not sure of any command that Cursor wants to run, you can simply just check it up, ask your technical PM, should I run this command? What is this guy doing? And in this case, it's honestly just trying to create the logo. So it's going to generate a logo. And if you have a logo you want to use, you can just leave that and go to your public folder, wherever you want this logo to be later, and actually add the logo yourself manually. And here we have npm installed to install the necessary dependencies, and that is running. If you have npm installed already, you most likely do not have to do all of this. So we're just kind of like doing everything from scratch again, and it wants to run this in this port. So if you're not interested, but this is something you should be interested in, and this is running right now. So yes, if you want to open it, you can just like copy this or just run this to be sure that this is working. So I'm going to copy this URL. It's not letting me, it's talking too much, telling me everything it has done. So this is everything it has done right now. And if you want to keep it, you say keep all. If there are files you want to discard, you can simply go into those files and actually undo them. But if you find I don't want to really interrupt with any process at all, so I'm just going to keep everything. So we have everything here, and again we grab our link and we go to our browser to verify what has been created, or you can simply click on it actually. Yes, we have our PDF util application running here, and this is from the boilerplate from React and Tailwind. So what I'm going to do, and I think the design is also working. We have the get started button. Of course, this is not routing to anything. I don't expect it to. So I'll go back. I want it to do cleanup. I really don't want to see that. So we could say remove React boilerplate and prepare a clean code base. This is our code base. I think it's still good though. We're not seeing like the React logo, all those things that you usually see when you create a new React application. So that's actually good. So you can see, just remove all the necessary things. If you check all those things you're seeing there, what we see when we run the dev server, it's going to remove everything. Yeah, so also checking if the local host is still running, and we can see 200 okay, which means our server is still up and running. And we'll move to the next step now. So I won't be moving back to GPT because I already copied all the breakdown now. And yes, it has cleaned up our repository, our code base, really nice. And the next thing now is to move to the task 2. So I've copied the task2 prompt, and I'm just going to place it right here. And you see what I've done? The task2 prompt says rebuild the UI according to the Stitch mockup, and I just added a link. So I hope Cursor is able to access this link. Otherwise, we will upload a screenshot. But let's try Cursor. Okay. If you have preference for how your files should be structured, at this point you might actually want to tell it, hey, this should be a reusable component. If you can say that, I guess you know how to figure your way around. So we shouldn't do much of that. Okay, so we have some components created for us. We have the conversion button still creating actually, and of course we're checking our port again, if it is running, and we have our 200. This is running. Let's see what the next thing is. Every time you instruct Cursor to do anything, see it as somebody, you see it as asking a junior developer to do something for you, and the person is coming back to give you updates, because you're going to end up with something nice like this. These are the things I have done. I have done this, I have done that. And as a human validator, your responsibility is to check if these things are working. If they're not working, you just have to tell it, hey, this file upload is not working. So we have all of these components. It says it has created a nice header. This is our header, and I'm going to accept all. You might want to do your validation before accepting all, of course. Yeah, so we have this. Will this work? Will this not work? Maybe one will view it. And then we have the conversion. And then we have the conversion buttons. If you remember the two CTAs that we have from Stitch, merge or convert. So I think it's just calling both of them conversion. So calling the component conversion. So we have the merge PDFs, and then we have the convert to PDF. That makes sense. And then we have the footer, that's like the last thing under our one-page web application. And then we have the header. We have the upload drop zone. So I think this is good. So I'll just quickly go to our dev server. So it has given us where to look, what it has done, and then this is our dev server. I honestly think this is perfect. The only thing you might think is not here when we compare it with Stitch is the logo, and that's because I didn't instruct it to use that logo. I didn't pass the logo where it should be. It basically just created something by itself, which is a transparent, I think something is actually white, yeah, so which is a transparent image. It has generated itself. So what you can do, if you actually have a brand, if you have everything you want to use, just upload your logo in that file. And look at the sections. We have 100% free. If there's anything you want, because it is not just instruct Cursor and whatever you get from Cursor, you have to take it like that. You can always tell it, hey, this drop zone is not big enough, this drop zone is not that, whatever it is you want. And then I can also click on my convert to PDF. I think right now they're not functioning as stars, but they're both going to be sharing the same drop zone. And if we click on browse, this should be able to take us to our files. Yes, so this work. And yes, let's move to the next step. So our technical project manager says it is at this point we move to the core functionality, which is actually the file upload. So the goal is to allow users to upload multiple files, and I am telling Cursor, I'm just going to delete this. This is from the prompt. So build upload area component, use React. Remember, we're not using our brain, so I'm just passing it to our developer to make sense of this. And it's planning his morphs. Okay, doing npm install. That's the React drop zone, by the way, so it has added it. And okay, still working. Okay, so confirming if this is running, and it is completely okay if you don't want to keep running this. You just click skip. So it has done what we've asked of it, and it says upload module implemented with React drop zone. If you also want Cursor to decide what it should use, as far as the instructions are clear, I think that should be fine. So multiple file types and stateful list was included, just like we always have it. And again, we keep all. So I'm just going to go back to our dev server. Can we actually upload multiple files? Let's see. And this is our localhost still running, our dev server. So we're just going to test if it's actually working. Cursor said it can allow multiple file, and all these file types are acceptable. So I'm going to click on browse, and I have some test files I've already downloaded from the internet, and I'm just going to pass them all here and see if it works. Okay, so we have all of this selected, but of course we've not implemented the actual functionality, which is to be able to merge. And to be honest, I just added quite a bunch of them: JPEG, doc, and as we wanted to merge PDFs, we should be uploading PDFs. And for better UX, right now I'm not able to remove files I've added, and we need a button for that. This is going to come handy later. We could inform Cursor to do that for us, but for now we'll leave it here and just add the lipsticks later. So we'll go back to Cursor now and move on to the next task. What task are we now? I think that should be task 3. So this is actually task 4, not 3. I didn't know we've gone really this far. And for task 4, it is converting the doc to PDF according to our GPT. But let's do the first button there, which is to merge PDF. So I'm going to change this one to task 4. And that's the only thing I'm changing. And of course, removing this instruction for Cursor. So our developer is ready and we have given it some tickets to do. So it needs some dependencies in order to implement this one, and that's the PDF lib. And yeah, it has added it into our package.json, so it's asking us to install it now. So this is going to happen if you should add any, in everyday life, if you have anything in your package.json that you don't have. Of course, if you're using npm, then you should run npm to install. So we have this, and we have our PDF lib, PDF drop zone. Okay, yeah, it removed one, and yeah, that's perfect. So yes, that is done. Can you see it's to do? It's basically created its own to do. I don't need your ticket. So why implement util? So currently, if we look at this, in our util folder now, we see the merge PDF. So and we see our code, magic. Okay, and the third one, write merge, and this guy is done. It's checking the server 8 now. So yes, 200. Okay, everything works fine. So it says, and it's giving us a summary that this is what I have done so far. So what do? We check. We'll go back to our dev server to confirm that everything works fine. And we are back here in our dev server, and let's just browse. You could drag and drop if you want, just to confirm that that functionality works. So I'll be selecting 3 PDF files. So test file 1, test file 2, and we want to merge. So let's see, and it just says merge like that. So this is it. We have this is sample PDF. These are basically sample PDFs online, so they all contain different things. And yeah, so we have the same file that contains the same thing. So this test file, I think one of it is basically like the same contents, as you can see, and we have it. This is really fast. Actually, the primary reason why this is fast is because there is no communication to the back end or whatsoever. Everything we are doing here is strictly front end, and just like that, I don't think we've spent 10 minutes and we already have a PDF merged application, a PDF merger, and you could publish this already, but we still have one more functionality to go. So we'll go back to our TPM, remember, Technical Project Manager, and to get the next step. I know the UX people are telling me a lot of stuff now. There is no download button. We can't even cancel. What if I want to add more PDFs? We will get to all of that later. But let's implement our core functionality first. So we'll go back to what we had previously skipped. No escape for us. So we'll come back to what our TPM had called task 4. So I'm going to change this to task 5 and also remove this. So we are basically handling the conversion module. So converting doc or docx or JPG or JPEG to PDF, and using our brain. So let's see this. Okay, so it's currently installing the dependencies. So it's using JSPDF and MAML dependencies. So these ones are going to handle the JPEG for conversion. It has added it to our package.json, and our job now is to run npm install. We are letting it do that for us. Okay. Now, to do has been updated, and you can see the next thing is doing is implementing this for still images and docx. Yeah, inside our util. So our util folder should get updated pretty soon. We currently have only the merged PDF, and yeah, we have it here. And you can also see comments. So if you even want to make like your own manual modification, you are able to follow the code. If you're writing your own code, you know the way it can be very annoying writing comments, especially if you don't enjoy it. Yeah, and then the third thing, okay, still on the step. and everything is client facing. So the files are not going to any cloud servers, not going to anybody's server. You're just certain that everything ends in your browser. And checking the health of our local host, and we go back to our local host, we test what it says it has done, we keep all if we want, and yes, of course I want to keep all. It's giving us how to test. It's giving us how to test, and it's also suggesting some things we could do. And this is our dev server again. If you notice, some things are already happening here. This one is not automatically selected here because we have another functionality, convert to PDF. So until you actually upload the file, like a Zoom, that is what cursor agent intend. This CTAs will not get activated. So we are testing the convert to PDF. So I'm going to start with image, and I'll just select a sample image I have here of the same type. So I'll select 2. Yeah, and we can convert to PDF because these are not PDFs, right? So you can merge them, and this one is not activated. I think that's really smart. So we'll convert to PDF, and now it says converted files. I converted multiple files to PDF at once, and you can see the download .jpeg. This was the naming.pdf. So this is already converted to PDF, and I think it is absolutely amazing and fast. Next, I'll test for doc, and I'll just browse, and I think I have a sample docx file. Yes, I have it here. And of course, convert to PDF. It's done already. We download. This is cool. This is really cool. So you can compare this with your PDF file. If it's working as expected, then you're good to go. If it's not, you probably want to go back and tell it, hey, this is not what I had given you. We know that the docx file we had uploaded was pretty large. It was about 13 point something megabytes. So this was a lot of, this has a lot of content. Some errors, some issues you might actually encounter here is about formatting. When you're converting from docx and you're not really using, before you can get an actual formatting of your Word document, you most likely will never get an actual formatting of your Word document. But for you to get something that is close, something that actually look pretty good, you might have to do some work if you're using only client-facing stack. Otherwise, you might want to also explore using backend, and you could use like Node.js, and of course, cursor agent is here for you. But right now, I could see some formatting issue. I'm pretty sure that this doc file is not just sitting like this. So if you want to explore, get your hands dirty, ask cursor to fix the formatting. It can do something about it, even right on your front end. At this point, I can't even remember which tax number we are now, so I had to like go back here and see. So I know what we've done. We've imported and recreated the design. We've done the file upload module, we've done the file conversion module, we've done the PDF merge module, and download module. So basically we have download button for convert, but for PDF we don't have it. It's just automatically download for you. Maybe that's something you want to give user the autonomy to download. Some of them don't even want to download it. Probably it was an error on their part. Yeah, and then we have the security and privacy emphasis. This one is just to say sure, we don't store your files, we don't do this, which I think what we have right now works fine. And then you can do the functional testing, upload various files and convert. Then we have the deployment, which we'll get to later. But just to make our application look better, because I could see quite a number of UX error, we're going to move away from our TPM and ask cursor to do some stuff. We're going to come up with stuff. We're not going to come up with structured prompt for cursor. So we will just ask it, hey, can you implement a cancel button to cancel operation, bulk delete uploaded files and all that. So let's go back to cursor. Okay, the first thing I want it to do is basically for it to allow users to remove, say, individual files or clear all files. That's one. And we also want to show error for unsupported file types. To be honest, the best thing is to never even allow it select unsupported files. When you go to your file explorer, the unsupported files, you won't even be able to see them. So I think that's the right thing to do. And we can also say implement responsiveness. What else should we do? I think I like the idea of having the merge PDF and convert to doc as a tab, and then having the action button. So maybe we could say integrate the merge PDF files and convert to PDF buttons as a switch tab or toggle. Yeah, we call it toggle. Highlighting the active button, so that'll give it a bit of color and good user experience. And what else should we do? Responsiveness, I think we've included that. Let's give it this for now. If you're using the limited or if you're using the free version, you most likely want to just give cursor everything. So far, I think it's able to, unlike other models, if you use Chatgpt or DeepSeek, they don't perform well when you just ask them to do everything at once. With cursor, to be honest, everything I've splitted, you could try to just put it all at once, so you don't have like plenty requests being sent, and you could actually use the free version. I've not tried using the free version before, but give it a try and you should be able to create this simple application with the free version. And checking our server again. Okay, all good. Let's see everything it has done. Say remove per file, unsupported file errors, the toggle between. So let's check our server, and this is what we have. I guess we probably should have fixed our error when we're still doing the design, but it's okay. So I'm going to just upload files and see. So yeah, I have the merged PDF, the one it had created before, and now we have this nice functionality. If you want to remove this, if you want to remove this, you know. And of course, you can't merge this. You can't merge this, which I like because it's just a single file. So we could also have browse, and let's test again. So we could merge PDFs now. Oh yeah, look at this. We have this new button, and then this one is here as well. So this is something we should fix. We should fix this one. And yes, we could check what we've uploaded, what we've merged. But so far we've tested our functionality and that works fine before. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to tell cursor to move these tabs above the Dropbox. I think it makes more sense if we have it above the Dropbox so that the CTA could just stay here. But for now, it will clear everything. So I'm saying move the tabs, merge and convert above the drop zone. Let's call it the drop zone. It's a Dropbox earlier. Okay, and I don't just want to give it this, so maybe to add more details. What else do we need? You could add preview if you want, just to preview the files. Show a download button after merging the files. Don't automatically download. All these are just like adding lipstick, to be honest. And yeah, and so on and so forth. So we'll move to the last stage now, right after this, and which is actually pushing this to GitHub. And again, I'm not going to be touching my terminal to do this. So we're going to push to GitHub, connect our repository to Vercel, and we'll have our PDF util application ready for the public users. Okay, telling us everything it has done. So we'll check our server again, and this is our server. We have the tabs right above the drop zone, so I think this makes more sense now. So if can I switch? I can't even do anything. So that's another thing you could also implement, to be honest. So if you want, I think it just select the functionality you would want based on whatever you're on. Actually no, you just need to put a file and then you're able to activate this. So if you want this activated right away, then best you can just keep prompting. So let's move to the last stage, guys. Okay, so all I'm telling it is commit and push all those changes to GitHub. If you don't have a Vercel account, at this stage you should create your own Vercel account, and it's best to create it with GitHub. You just sign up with GitHub and you'll be able to connect a repository. I already have one, so I won't be creating another Vercel account again. Okay, so we're adding this. Still staging all the changes, and this is commit, and guess what, it even gave us a very sweet, nice commit message. And if you're doing this and version control matters to you, you don't want to finish until you're done building before you commit your changes. You should actually, when we did task 1, you should commit your changes Okay, so I think the next line is to push it, and it's pushing. And again, you might not want to be pushing to main branch directly, but it doesn't matter. I want this. I can do this. Okay, and we have some things that are not getting pushed to GitHub, which is very nice. So if you check your Git ignore, you will see everything that is not pushing. You don't want to push node modules to GitHub. So everything is done now. I go to my Vercel application, which I have already Vercel account, which I've already created. If you don't have one, I'll put the link below. I'm here now. I'm going to create a new project because I have this in my Git ignore, in my Git repository. This is the name of the repository. So I'll just import this. If you have a preference, if you have a name preference for your project, at this point you should change the name. And if there's any directory you want it to point to, in our case, the root directory is fine. And we're using the var, it is able to recognize that. So we'll click deploy. Oh good. So yes, the only thing we need to do is just to preview. And because I am using a free version of Vercel, I can't add domain, I think. Yeah, you need like an account or something. But right now, this is my application. You know, this is my application and this is my public link. So I have PDF, YouTube, and that's it. It works. You can share it with your friends. If you want to actually host this, then you can go ahead and host it. Now, that was insanely fast. But was it perfect? No. Some things to keep in mind. 1. Oversight is very important for security. As you saw when Koso asked to install dependencies, I still had to verify the packages and the commands it was running. This oversight is even more essential when it comes to client-side processing or external packages because anything security and reliability still requires human review. It's an amazing junior developer. It will do exactly what you tell it. And if you ask it to do something vague, it will struggle. So you must be very specific. Garbage in, garbage out is more true than ever. The most important part of this video was our first prompt to Chatgpt and what we got from Chatgpt, and we passed to Koso because without it, it would have struggled or even taken us a longer time. Our no terminal role was a fun challenge, but in reality, this is a pair programming tool. For complexity, you will still require a human co-pilot, and that will be faster. It's for simple tools. You're not going to build a next Uber by this method. But for proof of concept, quick prototypes, then this is a game changer. The thing is, we went from an idea to a globally deployed application in about, say, 15 minutes. And that is the real story. So here is the bottom line. The developer's job, the designer's job, the project manager's job is not gone. It is changing. It is changing from writing every single line of code yourself to managing agents that actually do this job for you. Your value is in your architecture. Your value is going to be in your problem-solving skills. This is the new era of prompt-driven development. If this experiment blew your mind, hit the like button and subscribe to Prompt and Chip. Also share it with a friend who needs to see what's possible. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep prompting and build faster.